Well, welcome everybody to the beautiful St. Clair College Athletics Sportsplex here in Windsor, Ontario on a very sunny Sunday afternoon after a beautiful snowfall overnight. We're hosting OCAA men's volleyball here on We Digital Productions. It's the Conestoga Condors, sitting at 6 and 7 against the St. Clair College Saints at 3 and 10. I'm Dave Austin. I'll be working the game myself this afternoon here on We Digital as we get ready for this match. Two teams in the bottom half of the standings. The Conestoga Condors, the names to watch for there are number 2, Wesley Lau, who is one of the statistical leaders offensively in the OCAA. Number 1, Ryan Clutton, the fine setter who distributes the ball among the Condor attackers. And look for the libero, Daniel Musselman, a very veteran 5-year player who does a great job. Coach Wayne Harris in his 12th year with Conestoga. Saints starting lineup. Number 3, Kyle Tran, being put in a very tough position. The former libero for the Saints being asked to set in the absence of Zach Draper due to injury. We'll talk more about that in a second. And number 5, Frankie Friesen and Michael Knight, number 10, are the two offensive stars attack-wise for the Saints, who need a victory here desperately today. They sit in 8th place looking to move up. Coach Rob Lynch in his 10th year with the Saints. As I said, the Saints clinging to the 8th and final playoff spot in the OCAA West. Disappointing year, I think, for Coach Lynch, but there is opportunity to move up. The schedule is favorable here at the end of the season, and we'll see if the Saints can improve that position before the playoffs. Right out of the gate, there's that man, Wesley Lau, that we talked about, averaging 5 points per set with the attack kill. Conestoga takes the lead as Mr. Lau goes to the back row for the Condors. We'll call his name quite a bit today. Serve, Mook Su, the libero for the Saints, taking it. Shane Way with the hit. There's another of the good offensive stars for the Conestoga Condors. That's Kevin Duong out of Guelph in his 2nd year with the attack. 2-0 Condors. Quiet crowd here this afternoon at the complex. Just witnessed a 3-0 victory by the Saints women over Conestoga. The Saints women improving to 12 and 2 on the season, having a great season with Coach Jimmy L. Turk guiding the way. Outside set by Tran. He points to himself, my fault. Shane Way can't bring that back in from so far out, and unfortunately for the Saints, they fall behind quickly 3-0. As I mentioned, Kyle Tran, the setter for the Saints, on a steep learning curve. He's never set before in his career, but he's been thrown into the setting position by the Saints coaching staff. The regular setter, Zach Draper, has been suffering from concussion syndromes. He has been getting recurring headaches, and as a result, has not been able to return to the Saints lineup, and they're missing him terribly. Ace serve there by number 19, Spencer Vanderland, the middle hitter for the Saints. And they get 2 quick points back from the Condors. Clutton with a great back set to a waiting number 17, Dylan Arndt, middle hitter from Waterloo for the Condors. And they quickly transition that serve to a point. Arndt back to serve. Floater handled by the Saints. Tran goes middle to Ryan Acott, who just runs out of court, but he gets the touch call on the block. Looked like number 13, Eric Caterberg. Might have got his hands on it. No, they took it off now. Oh, the head official now says, nope, I'm in charge here. That's Mr. Paul Higgins up top. Says, I saw the touch. Number 13, Caterberg touched it. Saints get the point, 4-3. Michael Knight, they're going to need a lot from him today. Offensively with the serve. Clutton outside. Picked up nicely by Mook Su, the libero for the Saints. Acott finishes it off on the overpass, and the Saints show a little bit of excitement there as they tie it up at 4-4. A great pickup by Mutsu from that rocket by Brendan Vandergeest, the first-year power hitter from Kitchener for the Condors. Michael Knight serves it into the net. Attempting to serve tough, but not too tough. 5-4 Condors as Kevin Duong goes back, getting instructions from Coach Wayne Harris. And he serves it into the net, 5-5. These two teams on paper appear well matched. I think the Saints, though, have quite a disadvantage missing Zach Draper today. They're looking, Coach Rob Lynch and the Saints, maybe to move up the standings. I think 7th or 6th is attainable with a little bit of a run. They do have a favorable schedule coming up. They do host Cambrian and Boreal, who are at the bottom of the standings in 9th and 10th, and would look for a couple of victories there. I think they see this match as possibly winnable today against the Condors, who are just a couple positions ahead of them in the standings. So we'll see how the Saints squad reacts to all this adversity and the changes in lineups, and see if they can pull out a victory here today in front of the home crowd. Kind of lackadaisical play there. 7-5, Coach Lynch on the sidelines giving instructions. About as animated as you're ever going to see him. Vandergeest with the serve into the net. And the Condors kind of keeping the Saints hanging around with a few unforced errors so far. Ryan Acott back to serve. He's quietly had a good season at middle for the Saints. That comes straight to yours truly on the shank pass. And it's now 8-6 Saints. Sorry. 7-7. Tie score. Acott kind of shanks it off the side of his hand. Out of bounds. Condor regains the lead at 8-7. Back to serve, Eric Katieberg. Third-year player out of Listowel, Ontario. Saints have seen him before. Serves it to Friesen. Back row to Michael Knight. He goes down the line, picked up by Vandergeest. Outside to Wesley Lau. He goes right over top of the Kyle Tran block. And that is not a good matchup for the Saints right there. Kyle Tran, a little undersized at 5'7". He'll be up blocking against Wesley Lau, who could be arguably the best offensive player in the OCAA West. Michael Knight tries to catch the Condors napping, but he goes long with the free ball. And very quickly, Condors open up a 3-point lead behind the serves of Katieberg. That goes long. Lions official Joe Ratushny right on the call. 10-8 Condors. Kyle Tran back to serve. The Saints should be able to throw up a better block now on Lau, and they do. Friesen gets his hand on that Lau hit. Friesen playing the right side today. Back row to Kevin Duong, picked up by Mook Su. Tran goes outside to Michael Knight, and that shot down the line is a gem. Point Saints, 10-9 Condors. Serve again from Kyle Tran, hits the antenna, out. Some shoddy serving from both squads to start here today as they look to get their feet here in this first set this afternoon. We hope you're joining us and enjoying this on We Digital Productions. And a special welcome to anyone from the Kitchener-Waterloo area tuning in today who may be friends or family of some of the Condors. And there's a timeout. Coach Wayne Harris saw that missed serve, and that's happened too often for both teams so far. Here's a look at the standings we're talking about. The Saints highlighted there at 3-10 in 8th position. Conestoga, Condors at 6-7. Saints would have hopes of perhaps catching the Condors in the standings if they can run off some victories. They have 5 games remaining in the regular season. A relatively favorable schedule. They play Mohawk, who is only one more position above the Condors, and Niagara, And they play the Boreal Vipers and the Cambrian Golden Shield as well. So the Saints could make a mini move here in the standings with some fine play in the last part of the season. And I think that's what Coach Lynch is looking for, to gain some momentum. Hey, there's my daughter-in-law, Jessica, my sister Mary Lou, and my beautiful little granddaughter Audrey there up in the stands watching today. And at the moment, it's a close one. Conestoga up 11-10 on St. Clair, as Frankie Friesen goes back to serve. Saints looking, gather some momentum here in set number 1. Clutton with the very strong set, and wow, he goes back to Wesley Lau, who's behind him, changed positions over to the right side, and Lau makes no mistake. Clutton, smart to know where his bread is buttered there. I'm sure he's always aware of where Wesley Lau is on the court. Lau is one of the best finishers in the OCAA. Clutton has to take the first hit. Daniel Musselman, the libero, sets outside to Kevin Duong and into the net. Kind of lackadaisical play from both teams so far. A lot of mental errors. But to be honest, we are looking at two teams in the bottom half of the standings. Right there wasn't any lackadaisical play from Dylan Arndt as he hits a rocket on that nice set by Clutton. Vanderland couldn't handle it for the Saints. Arndt back to serve. He is a second-year player from Waterloo. Shane Way hit is off the hands over to Vandergeest, and he hits it out. First-year player. Number 9, Brendan is from Kitchener, Ontario. Teams trading points, 13-12 Saints. Michael Knight back to serve. Michael's an aggressive server. Right at Vandergeest. Vandergeest transitions from pass to hit. Effortlessly, looked very fluid on that one. Here's the serve by Knight. Vandergeest handles it with his hands. Clutton goes right back out to him, and that quick set caught the Saints blocking defense totally off guard. There was nobody there. Kevin Duong serving. Back row to Knight, and he buries it over to the 1 position. Net touch as well on the block. Point for point, these two teams. Nice set there by Kyle Tran, and Michael Knight finds a deep corner. Shane Way to serve. His first year out of Bell River, Ontario. Vandergeest doing the passing again. Katieberg with the hit, handled by the Saints. Clutton distributing it well. He goes outside again to Vandergeest, but he misses wide. And it's 14-14. The Saints pull even. Shane Way, first year, has learned a lot this year. He started from the beginning. He was thrown right into the frying pan at the beginning of the year by Coach Lynch. And as predictably, he's had an up and down season as a rookie. Steep learning curve. Expect better things, I'm sure, next year from Mr. Way here in the Saints uniform. Vandergeest with the serve. Muksu having trouble handling that. Saints have to give up a roll shot. Boy, they're struggling. The Condors picked that up. Wesley Lau had to get that back in. That's a really tough set in the middle to Ryan Acott by Kyle Tran. And probably ill-advised. He just caught the whole Saint team off balance, and they weren't able to recover. 16-14. Wesley Lau, happy. He started off well. Him and Clutton seem to have a lot of good chemistry going between the two of them. And that's always a good thing when your setter and your best hitter have good chemistry. Friesen with the dump, and they catch Eric Katieberg on the net. It's a couple net violations for that young man. Katieberg, one of the veterans on this squad in his 5th year, St. Agatha. Acott, good serve, handled by Vandergeest. The Saints seem to want to go to Vandergeest, but so far he has not folded under the pressure of the passing. couple substitutions. One substitution coming in here, serving substitution. Katie Bird comes out, and number 5 comes in for the Condors. That's Keith Hunt from Walkerton, Ontario, in his 4th year. Serving specialist and defensive specialist for the Condors. He serves it just out. And he comes out as a result, Coach Wayne. Libero Musselman coming in. Kyle Tran, he serves it out. And there have just been way too many of those on both sides of the net in set number 1. The serving line has been poorly played. 18-16, Condors. Clutton with a really good serve. Muksu had to stab at it last second. Michael Knight blocked in. Went after that aggressively with Kevin Duong and Dylan Arndt. Excuse me. Watch this block here. It was a solid one. Knight went right after it, but they blocked it down. Back to live action. Clutton out. If I sound like a broken record on these missed serves, it's good reason for it. There's been many, many missed serves in this first set. Could be one of the reasons to explain why both of these teams are in the bottom half of the standings in the OCAA West. And as we talk about it, there's another missed serve. So we haven't seen many long rallies to this point. 2017, Conestoga, and Coach Rob Lynch is not happy about that last one, and he calls his first timeout of set number 1. Previous meeting took place way back in November between these two teams, and it was a barn burner of a match up in Kitchener. The Saints took the Condors to 5 sets, but folded in the 5th set by a 15-8 score. As you can see, other than that, the rest of the games were pretty tight. These teams are pretty well matched. The big difference this time around for the Saints is that they're missing their starting setter, Zach Draper. And that's been very, very difficult for the Saints to recover from that. They've struggled since he's been gone, and rightfully so. Losing your setter in the middle of the season. The setter is the quarterback of the team. Coach Rob Lynch in his 10th year. He's done a fine job here at St. Clair College, and I know this has been a difficult year for Coach Lynch. He knew it was going to be a rebuilding year, and it has turned out to be that way. He lost a lot of starters. There's Julianne Milling, Jessica Moss, Jordan Pranger in the stands. All key players on the women's team from St. Clair who just completed the 3-game sweep of Conestoga to go to a record of 12-2. Lady Saints having a great season. Wesley Lau with the serve. Go to Michael Knight. He pushes it by the block, but out of bounds. Daniel Musselman, the fine libero for Conestoga, wisely lays off. And Conestoga confidently opening a little bit of light between them and the Saints late here in set number 1. Tran. That's a double contact. Vanderland kind of overreacting after he was blocked solidly by Arndt and Duong. Big front row right now for the Condors, 22-17. So it was nip and tuck most of the way here in set number 1, but Conestoga on a bit of a mini run here off the serves of Lau. Shane Way. Lau goes a long way but can't keep it up. Wesley Lau showing a little bit of defensive prowess along with his offensive skills. Hustling after that. Tipped hit. Vanderland serves. Musselman right there to handle it to Clutton. Outside to Vandergeest, and Vanderland cannot handle that hard hit by Brendan Vandergeest. 23-18. Another substitution for serving purposes here as number 3 comes in for the Condors. That's Lee Mercy from Palmerston, Ontario in the 2nd year. Serves a floater away, catches way a little bit off guard. Out of the middle, Frankie Friesen runs out of court to the right side, and it's suddenly set point for the Condors. Game was tied at 14-14, but the Saints haven't done much since, as the Condors have outscored them 10-4 since that point. Vandergeest with the roll shot, handled by Friesen. Tran sets outside the way. He's blocked. And the Saints again kind of panic a little bit off the block. That goes out of bounds off the Saints defense, and the Conestoga Condors are full value for a 25-18 set number 1 victory. You're watching OCAA Volleyball here on WeDigital.ca.
Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm your co-host of the We Digital production, We Now. Anyone interested in promoting a business, an event, a book signing, or maybe even just making aware of the movers and shakers of Windsor, Essex County, We Now can do that for you. We'll get your word out. So make sure you email me at josie@we-tv.ca to book an in-studio session that will air live on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Shooting. Oh, Butcher goes down. Look front to Bird to drive the save. Pass to the nice shot to the save. He's right in. Oh, and stops it behind the net. Horseman wipes it right in front. Talking shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Welcome back to the St. Clair College Athletic Complex here in South Windsor. Conestoga Condors win set number 1 against the Saints men volleyball team. As you look at the Saints huddle, 25-18. Kind of an odd flow to the first game. The Saints and Condors traded punches back and forth for the first half, and at one point the game was tied at 14-14, and then from that point, an 11-4 advantage to the Condors the rest of the way as they exerted their dominance over the Saints. Quick check of the lineups. Looks like there's one change for the Condors. Number 14, Adam Piazza, will be playing middle this game for the Condors. And that means Eric Katieberg will not play, or not start, at least the second set. And number 8 also in. That is Alex Bowden for the Condors. And looks like he's replacing Kevin Duong at the right side position. Saints lineup looks to be the same. And big block by Vanderland, but he's called by the down official for touching the net on the block, and or it could have been Michael Knight, not him. Number 1, Ryan Clutton, the fine setter for Condors. Back to serve, just misses long. Linesperson Pat Patterson right on the call. 1-1. Frankie Friesen serving for the Saints. Handled by Wesley Lau. They go back to him on the set off the block. Friesen handles it off the touch. Mike Knight trying a little too much with that hit. Too hard, too much angle cross court. Says to his setter, I need it further out. Of course, all setters will tell you it's never the hitter's fault. That's an inside joke among setters. Wesley Lau. Nice serve. Tran outside. Way has to work hard to bring it back into play. Clutton sends it up to the new starter for Bowden for the Condors. And Vandergeest, again, big hit from the young rookie left side player from Kitchener. And it's a net touch on Michael Knight on the block. 3-1, Conestoga. It's Wesley Lau serving. Statistical leader for the Condors. Tough serve, just misses wide as Friesen watches it go out. 3-2 is Vanderland. Spencer back to serve, getting his first starting action this season after the Christmas break. Came onto the squad, and he's had a lot of playing time since, trying to shore up that middle position for the Saints. Quick response from the Condors as Dylan Arndt back to serve. He's had a solid game so far. Just out, Muksu, the libero for the Saints, wisely lets it go. So this second set starting eerily similar to the first set. Teams trading points back and forth, and that's what the Saints did for at least the first half of set number one before it all just kind of fell apart very quickly for them. Vandergeest, cross court, scores off the very, very tough pass by Dylan Arndt. Did well to get it to his setter. We watch here. Way down low for that. Sorry, that was Wesley Lau with that pass. Showing his total game today. Clutton tries to get the dump to fall. It doesn't. Saints with the back row attack. Clutton goes to get it, sets. Vandergeest is blocked. Piazza decides to turn, and he hits it right at Muksu, who can't handle it. 5-3, Conestoga. Very workmanlike fashion. The Condors are going about their business. Don't see a lot of emotion from them on the floor. And so far, they've handled everything the Saints can throw at them. Bowden misses. Alex in his second year from Guelph, Ontario. Getting his first action here today. Number 7, Shane Way serving for the Saints. Saints haven't been able really all day to go on any sort of a long run. Maybe this will be the first as they score off their own serve. Always a bonus. 6-5, Conestoga. First set, they were basically unable to sustain any run due to missed serves. There were just a ton of them in set number one, really, by both teams. The set didn't have much of a flow until later in the set, but the flow went all Conestoga's way. Wesley Lau out of the back row, comes floating in for a big hit. Saints in set number one had 7 missed serves, 7 service errors, and 5 from the Conestoga Condors. So the crowd here at St. Clair College were treated to a poorly served first set. 12 missed altogether between the two teams. Nice hit by Ryan Acott out of the middle. Once again, teams trading points. Saints down by 2, 7-5. Neither team yet been able to put together a run here in set number 2. Saints down 1-0. Lau blocked. The Saints get a big one. Frankie Friesen all over the big hitter for the Condors. And the Saints perhaps can use that moment right there to turn the tide a little bit. Friesen all over that with a big block. Acott. Into the middle they go. Piazza, who did not start the first game, with a big hit out of the middle. Nice set by Ryan Clutton. 8-7. Piazza back to serve. Adams in his second year from Waterloo. 6-7. Always a handy asset when playing middle blocker. Way almost broken ankle there getting in position for that hit. Had to give up a free ball. They go back row to Michael Knight. It's off the block. Lau getting his hands on it. Vander Yeast goes wide. Clutton. Clutton misses. And the Saints tie it up at 8-8. First time this afternoon the Saints have been able to make a little bit of a run here on the Condors. It's 3 in a row for them. See if they can sustain a little bit of this momentum. That block by Friesen on Wesley Lau was big. There's Lau, but boy, Sue and Tran make great recovery. Outside to Lau again. He gets the single block this time and makes no mistake. Luke Sue can't handle that one. Coach Rob Lynch saying to the blocker, Frankie Friesen, never take your eye off Mr. Wesley Lau. You know that Clutton's going to use him as his outlet whenever he can, and why not? He's averaging 5 points per game. Mr. Lau, which if he does not lead the OCAA would certainly be close to the top. Clutton drops in a short serve. Young man is in his second year from Waterloo, had a good rookie season, impressed a lot of people around the league last year as a rookie. He's continuing his fine play this year. Michael Knight rattles it off the block, 10-9. Conestoga, Way with the pass, Tran steps in. Knight hesitates just a bit on the approach and stays behind the ball for a good hit. Frankie Friesen, handled by Musselman. Lau comes out of nowhere off the block. Shane Way says I didn't push it enough. Falls on the Saints side, 11-9. Lau goes back to serve. Wesley in his fifth year. Frankie Friesen with a big hit, but Lau picks that up. Musselman can't coax it over. Saints score. Crowd reacts. Positive sign here for the Saints. They need to get something going, just haven't been able to sustain anything today. Vanderlam, there you go. Shane Way rattles it off the arm of Lau, and the bench and the crowd getting a little more vocal now. 11-11. Saints looking for anything positive at this point. They've struggled ever since Zach Draper, their starting setter, got hurt a few games ago, and I think the whole team, coaching staff, just looking for something positive to get momentum back on their side and get on a roll here in the latter part of the season. Dylan Arndt serving. Handled by Muxu. Tran outside. That's blocked. Piazza, his big arms on that 6'7" frame. Rejects the hit by Shane Way. Dylan Arndt again to serve. Floater, handled by Frankie Friesen. Tran goes back. That sent Michael Knight scrambling. Lau outside to Bowden. That's a double contact on Kyle Tran, called by head official Paul Higgins. Long-time mainstay in the refereeing here. Coach Lynch on the sideline, barking a few instructions to the team. So the Saints got it to 11-11, but then suddenly they give up 3 points. Tran with the bump pass. Clutton goes to the middle. Outside to Bowden, off Tran's arms. And it was 11-11, and this is eerily similar to set number 1. Timeout, Coach Lynch. He doesn't want to see this go any further. There's 4 quick points for Coach Wayne Harris and Conestoga Condors. Let's take a look at the statistics after set number 1. You see the Saints were forced to be making more diggings. They did get 2 aces, but they paid for it dearly with 7 missed serves in set number 1. Their kill percentage was just awful, really, at 4 for 21 attempts. Whereas Conestoga was very, very efficient at 9 for 19. And that goes a long way right there in explaining the 7-point victory by the Condors in set number 1. Set number 2 has started much the same way. The Saints have stayed with the Condors for the first half of the set, but then suddenly in about the last minute and a half, the Condors broke open for 4 quick points, and now they are down. There's my granddaughter Audrey again, dancing away upstairs, watching the game. Coach Lynch sends the boys back out onto the floor. And Dylan Arndt prepares to serve for the Condors, leading 1-0 and 15-11 in the second set. Muxu steps up confidently, takes that. Another block. Piazza on Mike Knight. He's done a fine job. Anthony's come in here, Adam has come in here in set number 2 and has made a couple big blocks already. Sue can't handle that. Saints scrambling. They're going to have to give up a free ball. Tren hustles. Nobody went there. And just shoddy play there by the Saints. 17-11, and suddenly set number 2 is quickly falling out of hand for the Saints. And that's not a good sign. This team needs some positive results and quickly before the playoffs start. Mike Knight there. Piazza all over the net, getting a little too eager. The Saints score a much, much needed point as number 20 substituting in. Michael Beal, first-year player from Windsor. Tran comes out. The Saints will adjust. Somebody else will step up and set. Coach Lynch giving them the instructions right now. We'll see who that might be. Could be Mike Knight, who's serving. Wesley Lau with the pass. Bowden can't get it to fall. Knight makes the attack. Knight makes the pass, but Shaneway's set is hit into the net by Michael Beal. It's 18-12 as Bowden goes back to serve. Handled by Way. In the middle, Acott tries to dump, doesn't fall. Vandergeest is blocked by Way and Acott. Knight into set. In the absence of Kyle Tran, he sets again. He goes back to Shane Way, and Way is blocked by the tandem of Vandergeest and Piazza, who are throwing quite a large wall there right now. Good front row play for the Condors. 19-12, make it 19-13 as Bowden misses the serve. So Coach Wayne Harris, the Condors made 2 substitutions, and the Condors really haven't skipped a beat. They've been full value again here in set number 2. Shane Way to serve, handled by Wesley Lau. It goes in the middle to Piazza. Way picks it up. Muxu gives up the free ball to Bowden. Back row, Wesley Lau showing off his offensive skill. Great set by Clutton as well. Those two, a lot of chemistry between them. The Saints will be happy that this is Wesley Lau's 5th and final year. I think they've seen enough of him in the past 5 years. He's a great player, plays all parts of the game defensively and offensively. He's a pleasure to watch. Big hit there by Frankie Friesen. Off the Condor defense, Saints respond. Ryan Acott back to serve. Saints need a run badly here right now, trailing 20-14. Lau again scores. Shane Way not able to handle the hit. Lau had 4 kills in set number 1, and he's only added to that total here in set number 2. Number 11 coming in, a serving substitution, and that's Marshall Point, first-year player from North Bay, Ontario, into serve, serves it into the net. He'll come back out. And the Saints will make a substitution as well. Kyle Tran will be coming in for Michael Beal. Tran will go back to setting and will serve. As Beal plays 3 positions across the front row in an attempt to try to get the Saints a little more height and blocking power. Tran gets the floater on Lau. Lau, though, recovers. Makes the tip off the hands of Vanderland, and Michael Knight takes the set, buries it. Michael picking it up a little bit, exactly what the Saints need, trailing 16-21 as Kyle Tran goes back to serve. Another good serve. Vandergeest has difficulty with it. Musselman goes up high, and Lau gives up a free ball. Saints don't recover. Sloppy play again. Vanderland called for the double contact. 22-16. Clutton with the serve. Muksu handles it well. Michael Knight with a hitting error into the net. 23-16. Conestoga looking to close out this second set. Enthusiastic fan up in the stands. Actually in the suite. Enjoying fine seats here, and that's Wesley Lau. Rattles it off the block of Frankie Friesen. 24-16. Conestoga on the verge of closing out set number 2 here after winning set number 1 by score 25-18 there as fans of Michael Knight up in the suite. Frankie Friesen is blocked by the duo of Dylan Arndt and Wesley Lau, and that ends set number 2 for the Saints men. Fall behind 2-0 here on We Digital Productions. You're watching OCAA Men's Volleyball.
Hi everybody, this is Tina Brigley, host of In and Out of Your Mind with Tina Brigley on WeTV. Join me and my guests while we explore ways to get out of your mind and into your life. Join us each and every week for a new show. Come see me here on WeTV.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm your co-host of the We Digital production, We Now. Anyone interested in promoting a business, an event, a book signing, or maybe even just making aware of the movers and shakers of Windsor-Essex County, We Now can do that for you. We'll get your word out. So make sure you email me at josie@we-tv.ca to book an in-studio session that will air live on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to St. Clair College, the fine St. Clair College Athletic complex here in Windsor, Ontario. Unfortunately for the St. Clair Saints, it's a 2-0 deficit at this point as you look at the coaching staff. A little bit frustrated after 18-25, 16-25 excuse me, losses to the Conestoga Condors. I'm Dave Austin. Here on WeDigital.ca, you look at some of the fans, some of the players from the St. Clair Lady Saints who were victorious 3-0 in the first match this afternoon against Conestoga. Lady Saints improved to 12-2, second place in the OCAA West. They're having a fine season. Tail of the tape for the men, though, is a little bit different. Michael Knight serves it into the net. They are sitting at 3-10 in 8th position, the 8th and final playoff spot. And they need to find some sort of footing before the playoffs start in a little less than a month in the OCAA. Wesley Lau has had a fine afternoon, back to serve for Conestoga. Tight pass, but Kyle Tran goes up, handles it, and Ryan Acott gets it to fall. Look at the setter for Condors. Ryan Clutton, who has distributed the ball well today. That's going to be a double contact on Mr. Clutton. Off the tough serve. Shane Way with that serve. 2-1 Saints. They put their nose out in front early. Another overpass, and Ryan Acott makes them pay. 3-1 Saints. First time the Saints have had a little bit of a lead today. Very, very early here in set number 3. Way again. Goes after Lau, makes the pass. Clutton with a nice set to Kevin Duong. Hits it down the line. Acott off the top of his hand, out of bounds long, and it's 3-2. Served by Piazza. Way with the overpass. Katie Berg handles that. Duong goes cross court. Clutton has to step in. Goes to Lau. Outside to Duong again. Picked up by Michael Knight. Kyle Tran goes into the middle with it. Piazza caught by surprise there. Out to Vandergeest. He's blocked. And Frankie Friesen takes the overpass, and that's about the most energy we've seen off the Saints bench today as they erupt on that Frankie Friesen hit right there. 4-2. Saints in the lead. Acott to serve. Good serve at Vandergeest. 31 set to Katie Berg. A little bit of confusion by the Saints, but Katie Berg gives it right back to the Saints. Kyle Tran tries to dump. Clutton having nothing of that. Musselman goes way outside. And that ball was just very intelligently played by Kevin Duong, who just used the tip and tooled it off the St. Clair block that was way too far out. They shouldn't have been chasing that one at all. Kevin Duong back to serve. Didn't play in the second set. Started the first set. Had a good first set. Coach Wayne Harris and the Condors gave him a bit of a rest, I think, in set number 2. Got some of his other players in there. Long hit mistake, attack mistake by the Saints. 4-4. It's good to see in the second set on behalf of both teams. They cleaned up their service errors. There were 12 service errors altogether in set number 1. Set number 2 was much more cleanly played, but the result still was not a good one for the Saints men. Lau out of the middle. Just seems to glide. Defies gravity, the young man. And makes that back row attack look so easy. 5-4, Conestoga. Duong to serve. Frankie Friesen, not a good pass. He knew it right away. Forced Michael Knight to make the set. He is called for the double contact, and Coach Rob Lynch right away getting on it by calling a timeout. After 2 sets, the statistics are decidedly in favor of the Condors. The only thing really the Saints can be proud about is that they have 2 aces to 0 for the Condors, but the digs are deceiving. You might say, well, the Saints have more digs than Conestoga. Well, that's true because they've been under siege most of the afternoon by a very efficient Condor offense. And they've been forced to play defense much, much harder. Coach Lynch talking to the team. First 2 sets, the Saints stayed with the Condors about halfway through the set. And this one here, they actually took a lead early in the 3rd set, but then they very quickly evaporated, and Coach Rob Lynch wasted no time, called the timeout right away. Doesn't want to see this slip away, wants to try to extend this match. The Condors confidently walk back out on the court. And we get ready to resume here in set number 3. Saints trailing 6-4. Their backs against the wall. They need this. Otherwise, the Condors walk away with the sweep and go back on the bus to Kitchener. Very happy group. Kevin Duong. That's blocked solidly by Vandergeest. Helped out by Katieberg. But they were all over the Michael Knight back row attack. 7-4. Fanshaw obviously reading the book on the Saints offense. They know that most of it, the attacking anyways, comes from Friesen and Knight. And they've blocked those 2 very efficiently today. Vandergeest with a nice hit picked up by Muksu. There's Knight again, a little bit frustrated. He hits that one into the net. Not an easy set to hit. Trying to go across his body. 8-4. As Kevin Duong continues his serving run, it's now lasted, I think this is 6 points in a row by the Condors. The Saints were up 4-2. So 5 of those points have been made off Duong's serve. Mike Knight gives up the free ball handled by Lau. They go back to Lau, the back row, and again he makes no mistake out of the back row. Hitting at a very, very high percentage today. Substitution, Michael Bondi coming in for Vanderland. After 2 sets, Wesley Lau has 10 kills. Served out. So he'll continue right on that 5-point-a-game pace. He'll continue to be rated at the top of the OCAA in that statistical category. Fine young volleyball player, well deserving of all the accolades he receives. 9-6, that ball was hit wide by Katieberg. Tran to serve again, long, 10-6, and that's a momentum killer and he knows it. Chastising himself for that missed serve. As Vandergeest, Brendan Vandergeest, smooth-looking first-year player from Kitchener, goes back to serve, and he serves it out. And this is what we saw a lot of in set number 1 with these 2 teams. Missed serves, followed by missed serves. And they were handing it back and forth to each other in set number 1. That settled down quite a bit in set number 2. There's Lau again. Saints have to give up a free ball. Vandergeest takes it deep. And that's blocked by the Saints. Michael Bondi getting his hands on it. 10-8. You can see here, Vandergeest goes deep to get that long hit. That might not have even gone over, but Michael Bondi, I think, got his hands on it. Friesen with a good serve. But Wesley Lau in transition takes the pass. Clutton goes right back to him, and he buries it. 11-8. Katieberg with the serve. The Condors looking to have an early afternoon here. Tough set by Tran, goes way across the court. Michael Knight asking for a touch, and he gets it. Touch on the hit, same score. 11-9, Conestoga. Number 11, Michael Bondi, back to serve, and that's long. He immediately comes out for the libero, Muksu. Michael getting his first extended action this afternoon. Played a lot before the Christmas break, starting in the middle for the Saints. Clutton with the serve. Acott does all he can with that, knocks it off the hands of Piazza. Outside to Wesley Lau, and that's in again. And he just keeps adding to his attack total with all kinds of hits. One of the finer attackers the Saints have seen this year, without a doubt. Clutton. That's a shank off the hands of Friesen. Michael Knight with a big hit. Duong has to come in and set. Out to Lau, and this time it's Ryan Acott and Michael Knight. The crowd reacts to that. Haven't seen that too often. I think that's the second time this afternoon that Wesley Lau has been blocked, and that a new player in, a rookie for the Saints. Number 9, Ricky Friesen comes in for some action, his first today. That serves out of bounds. Michael Knight serves it off the antenna. Friesen comes in for Kyle Tran. He's going to set. We'll see how the young man does. First-year player out of Staples, Ontario. Small community just south of Comber on the Highway 77. That serve is in. Lau hurting the Saints from everywhere. 15-10. Wesley takes a deep breath. Goes right after Michael Knight. Ricky goes to his brother, Frankie, on that set, and that works. First set of the afternoon is a brave one for the young man. He goes to the C ball out of the middle. And you got to give him credit for that. Not an easy set to make right off the bench. Shane Way. That's picked up by Lau. He's played the total game today. Out of the middle, Piazza off the hand of Shane Way. And the Saints just can't seem to make headway here into this 5-point lead that the Conestoga Condors have been holding on to for a good 10 minutes now, just trading points after falling behind. And a lot of it was made on the big run on Kevin Duong's serve. The Saints were up 4-2, and the Condors ran off 7 points from that point, took the 9-4 lead, and now it's up to 6 as Piazza is on the serve line. Friesen outside to Friesen, out of bounds off the block. They were teammates at high school, and I'm sure that that combination, they're used to each other, working together. Ricky's 5'9". Frankie much bigger at 6'4". Kevin Duong with a smart hit off the Frankie Friesen block. 17-12. Make that 18-12. The scoreboard ticks over in favor of the Condors. In the lead by 6, and nice cover there by Muksu. There's Wesley Lau again, in again, and he's been deadly with that C ball out of the middle. Patented shot. He's happy about it. Watch this, great set by Clutton, and bang. Ryan Lau having a great match this afternoon. Adding to those stats, he's really filling the stats box this afternoon. That ball is long, a little bit of frustration there by Frankie Friesen. You can see it in the body language. Just took way too hard to swing at that. Hit it long, 20-12. And the Saints really up against it now. out of bounds. 21-12, Kevin Duong. And he misses a serve. 21-13. Looks like Kyle Tran's coming back in to set for the Saints. And to serve at the same time. Saints need to make a big run real quick, and there's a good start right there. Ace serve, the third one this afternoon for the Saints. 21-14. It's a good start. We're a much needed run here. Lau handles, Clutton goes outside, and the Saints continue scoring points off their serve. 21-15. Trying to serve again. Out, and that's your ultimate momentum killer right there. And that's happened far too often this afternoon, and Coach Rob Lynch knows it. Anytime the Saints seem to start to gain a little head of steam, they've missed serves at critical times. And 22-15, and Condors, I think, can smell it now. Vandergeest to Way, outside to Michael Knight, and he scores. Splits the defense and the block. Vandergeest puzzled by that. 22-16. Goes right by Kevin Duong, and Vandergeest didn't seem to react at all. Frankie Friesen the serve, 22-16. Handled by Musselman, outside, Wesley Lau. Luke Su makes the pass. Way is blocked, and that's a big block right there by Mr. Katieberg, Eric Katieberg, hanging high. And first action today for number 6. Coming in to serve, that's Jacob Beer, second-year player from Waterloo. I think just about everybody has made it into the match today for Conestoga. Coach Wayne Harris using everybody, some sparingly. 23-17, missed serve. Giving the Saints a point. Michael Bondi in the serve, and he misses. Again, far too frequently today for the Saints. 24-17, and we are at set and match point here at St. Clair College as Ryan Clutton goes back to serve for the Condors. They can close it out right here, and they do on the missed reception. And that's it for the St. Clair College men's volleyball team as they fall by almost identical scores, 25-18, 25-16, 25-17, 3 sets to 0. We'll be back in a minute with an interview with Coach Rob Lynch of the Saints. You're watching OCAA Men's Volleyball on We Digital Productions.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front to Berg, drive the save. Pass to the nice shot. And he's right in. Oh, and Joseph stops it behind the net. Marksman white side in front, talk and shoots. Oh, and what a save!
You're watching We Digital.
Hi everybody, this is Tina Brigley, host of In and Out of Your Mind with Tina Brigley on WeTV. Join me and my guests while we explore ways to get out of your mind and into your life. Join us each and every week for a new show. Come see me here on WeTV.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect. I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Hi, I'm Josie, and I'm your co-host of the We Digital production, We Now. Anyone interested in promoting a business, an event, a book signing, or maybe even just making aware of the movers and shakers of Windsor-Essex County, We Now can do that for you. We'll get your word out. So make sure you email me at josie@we-tv.ca to book an in-studio session that will air live on Facebook. And don't forget to check out our social media. We've got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
Welcome back to St. Clair College. A little bit of a disappointing afternoon for the St. Clair College men's volleyball team. Coach Rob Lynch here with me. Rob, welcome. I know you don't like to come over here under these types of circumstances, and hopefully this is our last interview together this year. But
yes,
it's been a tough go for your team since Zach Draper, the starting center, has been injured.
Zach left us with a head injury December 2nd, and hasn't came back to his old self. So, and we're a college volleyball team, and we really care about him getting his grades and his academics, and volleyball is much secondary to that. So we want to make sure Zach's good. So,
as you should, and
yes.
It's put Kyle Tran into a difficult spot. The young man, he's a libero specialist, and he hasn't had any experience setting at the college level. I thought he played relatively well today, considering the situation he's in. I thought, I don't know what your thoughts are, but you guys missed a lot of serves today.
Well, the only way we could beat these guys is if we serve the ball tough. And we took the chance that if we missed serves that we would put them on edge. But I'll tell you what, the issue was we just didn't get transition balls up. Kyle did a great job coming in to set. Mook did a good job coming in as a libero. And we're still a little short outside. Some of the guys aren't healthy, but we need to win a few more games to get in that playoff run, and that's what we're looking at.
Don't like to talk about the opponent too much, but boy, you got to be impressed with Wesley Lau today and how he played.
Wes has been a star for the last 4 years. He's probably the best player in the league, and he's a wonderful young man too. Very humble, and if you can see Coach Wayne Harris. He really thrives on good competition and character people, and that's why it's not as bad to lose to character people like that.
You're in 8th position. You're holding on to the last spot. What is your coaching strategy for the rest of the year now to get this team ready for hopefully a playoff game?
Yeah, we're bringing in another setter. He was at the school, wasn't able to put a time in, so we're bringing him in. We're slowly bringing him in, and he's a little bit bigger, and that'll put Kyle back into his position, and hopefully we can move on from there.
Well, good luck, Rob, and good luck the rest of the way. We only got 4 more games left in the season.
Right.
All the best of success to you and the team. I know you've worked hard this year, and we appreciate all the work you do here.
Thanks so much, Dave.
All right, Rob. Thank you. So that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on We Digital Productions for OCAA volleyball action. Once again, the final results: the Saints women win in 3 straight sets. The Saints men lose in 3 straight sets to the Conestoga Condors. We hope you'll join us. I'm Dave Austin. Next time for OCAA volleyball action on We Digital Productions. Have a great afternoon.